According to some still unchecked reports, cases of using chemical weapons were recently registered in Syria. Top politicians of NATO countries look uncertain about how to react to this. Many political observers fear this may provoke another large-scale war in the Middle East. In his interview to the radio station Europe 1 on Monday, France's Foreign Minister Laurent Fabius said we're not 100% sure that the use of chemical weapons didn't take place at all in Syria. This information has come to us from the United States and the United Kingdom, and we're now checking it. I won't be surprised if I learn that a chemical attack really took place in Syria, Russian analyst Ashdar Kurtov says. The escalation of tensions in Syria has already reached a very high point. In such a situation, everything is possible.
Обычно, если в таких условиях не достигается победы той или другой стороны, очень часто даже стороны прибегают к более мощным средствам воздействия, то есть более смертоносным оружием.
The conflict in Syria has already been going for a long time, Kurtov continues, but neither the government nor the opposition are winning. In such a situation, it's quite possible that either of the sides would use a powerful weapon, like chemical weapons, to show that it's stronger than the opponents. However, I'm not inclined to think that it was the Assad regime that was behind this chemical attack. For President Assad, this would have been equal to a political suicide. It's well known that the West is now very much against Assad, and if he orders to use chemical weapons against the opposition, the West would very likely use this as a suitable pretext for a decisive attempt to oust him. I believe that most likely the chemical attack was set by the Syrian opposition. President Barack Obama has already said that if Assad uses chemical weapons against the opposition, this would be a deadline after which the U.S. would not hesitate to start an attack against the Assad regime. Now U.S. politicians are saying, as if it's already a proven fact, that the chemical attack was organized by the Assad regime and that by this, Assad crossed the deadline after which the U.S. has the right to attack Syria. It's no secret that the U.S. is helping the Syrian opposition, although indirectly and although the U.S. authorities prefer not to mention this. Recently, the U.S. sent 200 instructors to Jordan, which borders with Syria, to train the Syrian opposition. Now the U.S. is going to deploy a tank division and Patriot air defense systems to Jordan. Recently, a representative of the White House, Jay Carney, said that the U.S. administration does not rule out any variant of attempts of influence on Damascus. As a rule, when U.S. politicians use this formula, this means a possibility of a military attack against a country. If the United States takes a decision to attack Syria, the UK and France will most likely support it, Ashdar Kurtov says. However, the U.S. may not itself attack Syria, but unleash its allies Saudi Arabia and Qatar on Syria. These countries would like to oust Assad because he is an ally of their enemy Iran. In fact, for the West, ousting Bashar Assad is more than a political task. It's also a matter of honor. 2 years have passed since the start of the conflict in Syria, but President Assad is still there. The West, which seems to be seriously convinced that he has the right to oust dictators in any country, sees the fact that Assad has not been yet ousted as its drawback. Besides, for the West, even a small success in Syria would be a compensation for its unsuccessful operation in Afghanistan.